Think I'm going live. Hey, I think I'm live. Wait for YouTube to catch up. Hello, friends. Welcome. Here we are again. ComfyUI, creative exploration with Pers. We'll be making animations with HotShot today. Very fast animations in 4 steps with SDXL-Lightning. It's surprisingly fast. Little blown away at the quality, the consistency, all the things that were kind of missing from HotShot are kind of here now, especially with video to video. This workflow works best when you feed it input footage and then use depth maps to enforce it. But we can try taking the images out of the VAE decoder and starting with empty images, like an empty latent, and just let it dream and see what happens. So we will. Basically, I'll just let me give some credit here to pull it up real quick. On the Banodoco server, there was a workflow posted very recently called Vid2Vid SDXL 4 Steps Lightning LoRA by Klintner. Very cool workflow. If you guys aren't on Banodoco, highly recommend you go get on that server. I'll drop an invite in the chat right now. And this is in the resources section. If you want to follow along, you can go download it, throw them a like, and we can get to playing. If you want, we can rebuild this entire node structure from the ground up. But for now, we'll just start with playing with it. So Klinter. Based on InterReflections LCM with the thing we worked on last week, but with the Lightning LoRA and organized a bit. Upscale does need a little work, but we figured out a workflow for that, so I'll cover that. And the only other thing you'll need is I've been using this DynaVision. Yeah, DynaVision XL all-in-one checkpoint. It works really well for this process, and then you'll need the Lightning LoRAs. We're using the 4-step LoRA here, and that just goes in your LoRA folder. So download this Lightning 4-step LoRA, put it in your LoRAs folder, and then we will just load it with the LoRA loader, and you're off to the races. So you can just install that workflow, install those models, and just basically upload your footage and hit go. So we'll walk through this workflow and how it all works together and why it's possible to get such cool animations. I have noticed that with CFG1, it seems to be like ignoring my negative prompt or adding it sometimes. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I'll try to stick to men, I guess, today, so we don't get any accidental breasts on the stream. Might also be a side effect of this model. I'm not sure if the model's a little little hornier than other models, but it is what it is. So let's start by loading 16 frames of a video I just downloaded off of Pexels. And we'll skip the first 140 frames. Just pick a random spot in the video, basically. And I've just been doing them at 2 times so that I get more frames, and then this animation is the smoothed out 1 frame per second or 24 frame per second version. But I meant to kill Steam before we started here. The awful notifications, go away. All right. So we load our image, or we load our video into the video upload. We set our base resolution. We set our upscale resolution. If you set these to nothing, it will not upscale, which is great if you don't want to upscale the first thing you make. Usually you want to wait. All the seeds are fixed, so you can re-enable this when you're ready to upscale. If you've got a good generation, you want to upscale it, all you have to do is just put numbers in here, and otherwise just put letters in here, and that'll bypass everything. We're loading DynaVision. We're going to load the SDXL VAE. We're going to load the Lightning LoRA, 4-step LoRA, and we're going to load the HotShot AnimateDiff model. I've added IP adapters to this. It's not in the current setup. So if you want a screenshot of how to add IP adapters, that's it right there. You just load the apply IP adapter in line with the model string wherever you want to plop it in, and then plug everything else in here as it looks. Load image goes into prepare image for clip vision. Prepare image for clip vision goes into IP adapt, apply IP adapter, and then the model loaders go above it. I mean, you can put them wherever you want, but that's the idea. We're loading the models, we're loading the image, we're loading the model through it, and we're not using the attention mask for this, but that's another thing we could play with too. And that will generally overwrite your positive prompt with whatever image you have. Then you can, enforce it more also by adding it to your prompt. So if I wanted Heisenberg dancing, I use a picture of Heisenberg, but then I also say I want, like 50-year-old Walter White dancing in a meth lab. And hopefully, well, we can run that while we're waiting and see if it works. Okay, so we've loaded up Walter White, and hopefully he'll dance in a meth lab. That's our prompt. Next thing we do is ControlNet. We're using depth anything. Depth anything will go in and make a depth map of the input footage. So we'll get we could got this to dream on top of. Run through AnimateDiff. We are in this. We're using AnimateDiff HotShot with the linear HotShot sample settings, beta schedule rather. And then for the sample settings, we've got the noise type set to empty. And we're using looped uniform context so that if our input video loops, the animation will loop. And we're using that at 813. That's the typical setup for HotShot. You can change the context overlap if you want, but you don't want to change the context width, the length. You want to leave that at 8. 8 for HotShot, 16 for regular AnimateDiff. Yeah, everything, that's fine. Yeah. And then the apply AnimateDiff model, literally just loading a model. You could use the simple one too if you want. No big deal. And then we go to our K sampler, and for this we need to use one CFG of 1 and 4 steps because we're using the 4-step Lightning LoRA. Sampler name is DPM SDE, and scheduler is simple, and it gives us some pretty good results. I don't know why his shirt keeps coming off. I don't get it, but there he is. You'll notice with this, we get some like crazy, noise and stuff in the background, and the consistency is not, nearly as good as running a long run. But for doing fun animations and playing with this, like you can see the iteration speed is just insane. Like we're just blasting through these tests. They're really, really quick. So let's try maybe different input footage where he doesn't get naked or something. I don't know. Let's try you. So for this, we're going to switch the aspect. We want it to be wide, not long. So we're going to go 1024 by 576. And let's just see if our stuff's plugged into the right spots. Negative to negative. Yeah, we like that. Negative, negative. Ooh. I think I found the problem. Is this the positive conditioning? Oh, no, that's positive and negative. No, you had it right. So I'm just checking some routing here. So positive, and then you go to, yeah, it's positive. See, I feel like I'm getting my negative prompt in my main prompt. Maybe I'll try removing that and see if it gets rid of it. I'm not sure why that is. Everything seems connected correctly. I really do think that's a byproduct of the CFG scale of 1, but yeah, whatever. I did. Okay, so I swapped these values. That's going to make it wider than it is long or tall. So should do this. Yep. He doesn't look like he's in a meth lab, but see, a lot of this though is from using the input footage. So I'm actually quite curious what it'll look like if we use an empty latent instead of the input footage to dream inside of and just have the depth map control net take over, but we'll see. And yeah, this is just running. Sorry, I meant to mention this is running the SDXL ControlNet LoRa depth rank 256. You can use either one, rank 128, 256. I think the 256 is better. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why it's better. Might just take more VRAM and only be slightly better. I'm not sure. I haven't done any tests like that. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, Walter White is dancing, which is important work. I know. We're really doing important stuff here. All right, now let's, instead of using this VAE encoder, I'm going to use an empty latent space and see what that does. So let's just have this here, and then we're going to plug into here. We're going to add a reroute, so we have that. Yeah, we'll just remember that's our latent image, and then we're going to add an, oh, not a get node. We're going to add a empty latent image. There we go. Pop that in here. And our width and height, we're going to convert to inputs, and we're going to use the width and height from the input values here. And our batch size is going to come from the frame count from our video. So we're going to convert batch size to an input, and we're going to pull this into here. All right. So now we're doing an empty latent image, and we're only using depth control net to control the dream. We'll get to see if this is wildly different, if it's wildly useless. We might need that. We might need those images on the way in to actually form this, or we might get a more interesting, robust dream, or it might be exactly the same. We might have to back off the control net a bit. It's hard to say. This is why we test stuff like this, to find out different methods of dreaming, that because like these are cool, but they're sticking so hard to the input footage. I have a feeling that's what's causing all this artifacting. So I'm hoping if we don't use the input footage as the basis for each frame, we might have a dream a little more. What do I have to do to get the CPU GPU memory graphs? Hey, Master FX. It is a plugin. It's in the manager. It's called Chris Tools. CRYS Tools. Just install it and restart Comfy, and you'll have them. Okay. So we got a little more interesting background, a little less, well, about the same amount of noise. Well, that's pretty interesting. Okay, let's turn this down. We'll select every frame, and we'll do twice the amount of frames. So it should be, I should do 64. It doesn't take that much longer. And we'll see what it looks like at proper speed, because it's a little fast. Well, this is pretty impressive, considering what HotShot looks like. Normally it can be good, but it does a lot of time look not as sharp as this. So that's pretty interesting. But it also takes, this is at 4 steps. Normally you'd have to do 25, 30 steps to get this kind of quality. I will also mention, as far as I know, Lightning is not usable for commercial stuff. So keep that in mind. This is for research and fun. I don't know if the Lightning LoRas are covered. You might not be able to use them for commercial use. So check the licenses on that if you're considering using any of the Lightning stuff for commercial use, because yeah, as far as I know, it is prohibited because it's still under research license. But I might be wrong. That might be a Cascade thing. Let's find out, actually. Oh, that might just be a cascade thing. License open rail. Yes, Christopher Moody. Yes. Did you see that the ControlNet tile model for SDXL was finally released last night? I saw that right before I went to sleep last night, so that's pretty exciting. We'll have to do some upscaling craziness with that on another stream after I've learned how to use it. All right, Heisenberg, get it, man. Get it. Okay, what about like now I'm curious what this does for like non-people. Let's try like car race maybe? Can this dream like crazy footage? Let's try it with like that might be cool. I'm actually really curious about this bike footage. 60 frames per second. I'm gonna avoid that because it's way too many frames to render. Let's see what this does. I'm wondering if it like gets the ground and all the details and stuff, or if it's just gooey noise. Might be gooey noise. All right, let's do 64 frames. We'll just skip the first. Yeah, same, literally the same. Let's do hovercraft, gliding across a alien desert. Is 2 S's in desert or one? I feel like there's one. Yeah. Hovercraft gliding across an alien desert. Yeah. Oh, we should probably turn the IP adapters off because we don't really need it to look like Walter White. I'll just NSFW nude in here just in case. Yeah, I'm curious. Actually, I'm also curious if Depth Anything can even see this because it's Depth Anything is mostly trained on human people because it's from TikTok. So I might have to use a different kind of depth control net. We'll see. Can't get it to work right and comfy. Hoping someone will write a nice workflow. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be one on Banodoco within the hour. The community moves so fast. Oh, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, but might be interesting. We can also try adding the frames in if it looks totally messed up. We can try adding the original frames in as the VAE base and see if that like helps. That's a good way to remember. 1 S in desert and 2 S's in dessert because you always want more dessert. I like that. Interesting. So this is with an empty. Hmm. I know you guys are always interested how much VRAM these these things take, so let's find out. Oh no, it's MVI top. This looks like it's about 12 gigs of VRAM for inference. So yeah, that should work on any 12 gig card. I'm obviously using a bit of VRAM for streaming and OBS and Discord and all that stuff. So I have a feeling you should be able to do this with a 12 gig card. The VAE decode may take a little bit longer, but if you do longer batches, you'll render more frames, and then you can go make a coffee while it hits the VAE decoder. There'll probably be some swapping to the memory at that point. Actually, we can see how much VRAM it takes when it hits that too. I am curious about that myself. 12.3 gigs. Oh, yeah, no. Unfortunately, it's very incredibly painfully, annoyingly, uselessly slow on Macs. Yeah. It's not about the VRAM on the Macs, it's about the lack of RTX, lack of CUDA cores. Just unfortunately, yeah, NVIDIA's got a stranglehold on this technology. There's always hope that down the road they're going to figure out how to, port PyTorch or, whatever to Core ML so that you can unlock all the power on these MacBooks. But as it stands, yeah, inference is just painfully slow. It sucks. There are online cloud solutions though, like Run Diffusion and RunPod and all that. If you check out Consumption on YouTube, he's got like Consumption AI. He's got guides on how to set all that stuff up. Well, that's kind of cool. It's like it's sitting in place though. It's interesting. Wonder if that's because it looks like that in the depth map. Yeah. Okay. So if that's the case, so we got it's kind of sitting in place, which is trippy and interesting, and they turned into like weird creatures or something. But let's re-add the VAE encoder instead of the empty latent image and see what we get. So now we're running this through as the original frames as well as the depth map to see if it changes the appearance here. Yeah, sorry, Mob. I didn't mean to bust your bubble because it's very frustrating. I know people with some really powerful MacBooks that would love to be able to do this stuff locally. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that it's too slow for animation. Like you'd get away with doing single images and stuff like that. Like it's just gonna take you a little bit longer. But this kind of like large batches of animations and stuff would just be faster to use somebody else's PC or RunPod or Run Diffusion or something. I think Run Diffusion is as low as like 50 cents an hour for ComfyUI instances, which is pretty sweet. That's what I would do if my 3090 exploded. Knock on wood. Definitely getting a lot more detail in this because we're using the input footage. So yeah, this should be pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. It will be trippy to have a whole video where the car's like not moving, but the tires are spinning and the dust is coming from the wrong directions. But again, this is not a competition with AnimateDiff and SD15, and we're not doing a comparison to see which one's better. This is just the fact that we can do hotshot animations in 4 frames is the exciting part about this. the fact that they look kind of weird is fine because, this is one model, there's one motion model, it's one method. Basically, we're right on the cusp here of like something really cool. So, this might not be mind blowing like results wise, but the fact that it's actually converging in 4 steps is mind blowing to me. Because my favorite part about being able to do AI animation is really fast turnaround. Like when you're working on something, it takes 20 or 30 steps. Like that process is the iterative process of getting your thing to look good. Like for the first bit, just takes so much longer than when you can do 16 frames in like 30 seconds or whatever. Because it's like, just you can just bang it out until it looks cool and then run a whole run, and it's super fast. And like we're getting there with Animate LCM with SD15. I'm going to go back to that on the next stream, or maybe after we've exhausted HotShot, I'll dig into that a bit more. But the stuff that I'm getting right now from Animate LCM and SD15 is mind blowing. So hopefully we'll get access to that kind of stuff with SDXL soon enough. Oh, cool. So we got more detail, but it looks like it's holding in place. That's cool though. The person's like becoming part of the car, not part of the car. So here's the stuff about HotShot that's definitely HotShot-esque. HotShot has an 8-frame motion window, unlike AnimateDiff. It is a 16-frame motion, like a context length, which means this is trained on 8-frame chunks of animations, and AnimateDiff is trained on 16-frame chunks of animations. So you notice how everything's changing really fast in these videos? That's because the context window is very short. It's only 8 frames. Whereas with AnimateDiff, we have twice the amount of time for it to shift between contexts. So yes, the things change in AnimateDiff, but they change half as fast or twice as slow. Or the context windows are twice as long, more specifically, which just gives the illusion of more cohesion than these. But, these are still, the fact that it's doing 8 frames and then jumping context windows, and it's just not a big garbled mess of goofy pixels is incredible. It's incredible. Do you think within 4 years 48 gigs of VRAM will become norm if AI game physics is the future? I hope I hope not. I mean, yes, probably, like the high end stuff will probably double within the next couple years, but what I'm hoping is we can get more for less. I'm hoping we can figure out inference like this on much lower VRAM than what we need now, because we don't necessarily need a ton of VRAM for inference, like actually doing the AI image diffusion. What we need the large chunks of VRAM for is like large batch animations and really high res inference and like training. So like most people don't need that stuff on a day-to-day basis. And hopefully the needs for just inferring higher res stuff, the VRAM needs will go down. So my hope is that you'll be able to ramp up what you're able to achieve with less VRAM. Because like I don't think the future is everyone having 48 gig VRAM cards, because it's crazy excessive. And like VRAM runs really hot, and there's a lot of reasons to try to push it so that inference takes less VRAM or less power, and so that we're just getting to the result faster. We're getting the answer quicker, and people will have to use less power to get there, ideally. So yeah, do I think they'll exist? Yeah, but will they be the norm? Probably not, unless there's a massive, crazy boom in AI gaming where we're having stuff dreamed up in real time, and you need like honking gear for that. Then yeah, maybe that'll push in a whole new wave of PC gamers that are just like power hungry and mad for the latest and greatest video cards and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like we're a ways away from that, probably. for now, we just got to play with these, low stakes inference stuff and try to get the best results we can from them, so that our friends with less VRAM and our friends that have don't have 24 gigs have have the same amount of fun as we have with these big stinking video cards. That was a really long answer to a really short question. All right. Well, this is only kind of better. What else can we do? Let's maybe we'll add some more ControlNet to the mix. Let's toss I want to toss a line art ControlNet in there maybe. Apply ControlNet. So ControlNet through ControlNet to the next ControlNet is how ControlNet works. So we just pipe our conditioning through ControlNet. So we'll start with depth, move on to line art. And I got to remember, bottom is positive. Yes. So positive bottom, negative top. Okay. And then we're going to use the ControlNet loader, but we're going to change it to... Oh, I need to download the line art one. So manager, models, ControlNet, SDXL. Maybe not. ControlNet. Stability AI, Canny, yeah. Oh. Really? There's no line art? SDXL line art ControlNet? Interesting. Okay, guess we're using Canny. Install that. Okay. Refresh, and then should be in here now. There we are, controller Canny. Okay, so we'll use a Canny preprocessor. And we'll take, so where is this coming from? Coming from image. And then you go into ControlNet. Okay. If we want to see what the Canny makes, we can drop a video combine. Turn off the save output because we don't ever want to save these files. We just want to look at them. And the file name doesn't matter because we're just looking at them. So we're going to actually replace this preview image with one of these as well. Right here. So we can see what we're making, the videos of the depth and the Canny. All right. And I'll just move this down a little bit because that preview is going to pop up underneath. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, let's see what that does. Oh, no. What did I miss? Cancel. I should probably plug this in. Yeah. Why not, right? I downloaded Pinocchio, but it gets stuck at 80%. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, save metadata is great. So yeah, there's our depth map and there's our line art. So hopefully this will give us the motion and outlines that we need in the animation, but who knows? Maybe it won't. Yeah, there's two buttons there on the on the video combine. There's one save metadata and one save output. Save metadata saves a PNG along with the video with the metadata of the whole project. So you can always just go back. If you made a video, you can go back and grab that. And then save output will actually save this file when it's done. So if you turn that off, you just get previews. Turn it on, you get results. And then if you want, you can rename them here, or you can use this cool, oh, they didn't add the file name. Oh, they did. So if you switch file name prefix to an input, there's this wicked node in the Mikey nodes called file name prefix. You plug that in here, and this is going to give you the ability to make a make a folder for the date that you're working in, on or off. You can have it append or prefix the date to the thing. You can set a custom directory for the thing you're making, and you can set custom text for the file name. So these are incredibly useful for when you're naming your files, to just dump stuff in date folders so that you can go in and see what you made that day versus the day before. Because like, I don't know if you're anything like me, but your output folder just becomes an absolute hodgepodge of madness. So I highly recommend this file name prefix node and plugging it into you just got to switch your input to file name prefix input to an input. And that is in the Mikey nodes suite. Mikey nodes. Do I have a channel for my outputs? No, I post my outputs on Twitter and do some NFT stuff and all that, and art and music videos and stuff like that with them. But for the most part, I just post them on Twitter, so you can check them out. And then we usually talk about how they were made, and then have a stream about it. Should be interesting. Okay, we definitely got some outlines. Still feels like it's just sitting in the same spot though. It's cool. All right, let's try some different input footage. Ooh, this might be cool. It's 60 frames, but we'll make it work. Yeah, if you want input footage to play with, I always use Pexels. They just have a wealth of really fun stuff to play with. And yeah, hovercraft gliding across an alien desert might still work. Let's try it. Might have to play with the Canny settings a bit here. But this should be an interesting animation. I don't know what it's going to make because it's like the trees have really become the most prominent thing, but it should be a cool mask at least for the input. Plus, it's got the images as the VAE encoder, so yeah, it could be mental. Go ahead, stand up and stretch your legs. That's what I'm doing. Or don't. I'm not your mom. Did anyone catch what the VRAM spiked to during the VAE decode? I missed it. Try and catch it this time. I think this one's going to be goo. But I've been very wrong before. Pardon me. I need to get a stream deck with a cough button. What process is making the line art? It's called the Canny preprocessor. It's a ControlNet preprocessor. Comes with Comfy, and then you plug that into the apply ControlNet node as the image. So you take your input image, input video, and out the preprocessor. So yeah, a little rundown on ControlNet in case anybody's unaware. ControlNet is a way of imposing like a composition on your piece by using different models trained on different databases of photo information. So the let's use depth ControlNet as an example. It's trained on a bunch of depth maps. So you generate the depth map from your input footage and then you feed it into ControlNet. And what it does is it goes frame by frame and tries to apply the dream to that depth map using ControlNet because it's been trained on depth maps. Canny does the same thing with the Canny ControlNet. It makes line art. And then, line art is actually another kind of ControlNet. Canny is a kind of ControlNet. So it actually makes Canny edge detection videos, if you want to be more specific. Or a batch of images, specifically, frame by frame where all the edges are. You can adjust the low threshold and high threshold here. So the lower the thread, so basically you lower the bottom number and raise the top number and you'll get more, so you got to find the exact threshold of where you want. ControlNet, and then you stack them through the conditioning. So you ControlNet 1, ControlNet 2, ControlNet 3, as many as you have VRAM for that you want to use, you can use. That looks pretty cool, actually. Kind of changed it into the desert a little bit. I think we would actually get better looking results with Animate LCM and SD15 right now, but this is very interesting because, HotShot's never been this fast, so we've never really been able to mess around with it like this before. It's always just been painfully slow to animate HotShot videos because it's like, high res at high steps. It takes a while. Trying to think of what would improve this. I don't think we can improve this. Very interesting looking. Just looking for somebody. Maybe driving a car. What's this guy doing? Nothing. He's driving in the mud. Make a man running down a hill prompt. Try to find somebody running. This might be cool. Yeah, let's try this. I think we can speed this up. I'll look for a person running down a hill after this. Yeah, let's pop that in here. Okay, let's load it twice as fast. Load it like, what? What's that, 140 frames? 200 frames in? Let's try. I kind of want to just leave the hover. Let's try Mad Max, Road Warrior, dystopian wasteland. I think the motorcycle footage is bad for HotShot, or at least bad for this process. Too much motion, too much noise. Yeah. Murder basket. TEED? What's TEED, AnimateDiff? This is so unhinged. I love it. If this is good, we can try upscaling it. I know this is a little bit late to ask, but what is HotShot versus AnimateDiff versus SVD? All right, yeah, let's talk about that. Okay. HotShot is a motion model that uses AnimateDiff. However, it is trained at 8 frames instead of 16. AnimateDiff is a motion model and method of doing batched animations that has 16 frame context windows, so twice as long as HotShot, but it really only works with SD15. HotShot works with SDXL. SVD is stable video diffusion, and that's a new stability model that is protected under the stability membership plan. So if you want to use that commercially, you need to pay stability, I think $20 a month to be part of the Creators program. And then, but what stable video diffusion gives you is the ability to sort of runway-esque generate videos from images. So you can either dream up a new image and then generate a video from that image, or you can just use existing images and create videos from that. It has increasing levels of motion like ID, context IDs or whatever. So you can tell it to be more motiony or less motiony. And it's there's a new SVD LCM version that's like apparently just absolutely stupid fast. So I haven't tried that yet. We could cover that in a future stream. SVD is really cool. And it's also the backend for StableVideo.com. So you can go play with it on Stable Video. You can play with it locally. You can play with it all you want locally. You just can't use it for commercial things unless you pay stability. But as it stands, SDXL and SD 1.5 do not fall under that. So you can use them for whatever you like. They are... And that's AnimateDiff and HotShot. So yeah, AnimateDiff and HotShot are sort of parts of the same thing. And then SVD is another architecture altogether. Also made by Stability and available for local use, web use, and commercial use if you pay. Yeah, it's pretty much the landscape for ComfyUI video right now. There's some other stuff that people are working on too, like they just made deforum nodes, which look really cool. This is crazy looking. I kind of want to upscale this. Everything kind of looks dirty. It always looks dirty. I wonder what that is. Oh, maybe because I put dystopian wasteland. What if we try like abandoned mall, 1980s, neon signs, emissive lights, and food court, all that kind of stuff. I'm curious how much influence the prompt has on this. A trippy video. It does look very Mad Max. I mean, that's exactly what I asked for. Hmm, crazy. So yeah, I've noticed for the upscaler, the noise is a little wonky. Try to mitigate it a bit here with the sample settings and starting with an empty and then adding a layer of free noise at 0.8% weight or 80% weight. Seems to help bring some of the detail back in, especially if, okay, basically when you do the upscale with empty noise, the person becomes like uncomfortably smooth. Like all the details washed away, so they're like basically just like plastic. There's like they have no detail anywhere. So you need to inject a bit of noise into the upscale to get that detail back. I did try swapping out the K sampler for the like the regular one, and then using the denoise to bring it down. But when I did that and I ran it, the upscaler crashed my computer. So yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is to that yet. So I don't know if this is an upscalable workflow as it stands. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get. I can do an upscale run after this one because I'm hoping this one will turn out cool. The input footage itself kind of looks dusty and dingy, so like I get why it's coming through the VAE encoder. Um, could try it with an empty latent image and just using the crazy depth and canny maps to rebuild the scene. Actually, maybe even if I get a picture of a mall, use it for the IP adapters. Yeah, it just kind of went a little, just a little. Okay. Let's do one with the IP adapters. And then we'll do one where we swap out the empty lane image. All right. So now we're pushing the IP adapters in at about 80% weight with this image to try to capture that like abandoned 80s mall vibe that I asked for with the prompt. Yeah, see what we get. Isn't my LoRA a Mad Max setting? No. Hey, food. Isn't there an SDXL beta version of AnimateDiff now? There sure is. Yep. I have not got a single good result with it yet, but someone might. So that's with the IP adapters. It's trying to add a little more neon, but it's not still really understanding what we want. So now this one is just the... Yeah, this is the empty latent image. So we're just going to get the... the dream. Empty space dream. Empty noise dream. Hey, Kush. Right on. Yeah, the workflow is on Banodoco, on the Banodoco server. If you scroll up, the invite's in this chat, the Discord link there. You can download the workflow from the resources channel. It's the one called LoRA Step Lightning LoRA, SDXL, AnimateDiff thing, HotShot, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like the second last or third last one. Who directed that clip? I bet it's 3 separate shots, so it's dangerous otherwise. I'm not sure what you mean. What is Banodoco? Banodoco is a Discord server for the ComfyUI community. It has an incredible, vast amount of workflows and resources, and it's where we actually get a lot of the stuff that we cover in these streams. You gotta go to Banodoco. It's the best. The link to Banodoco is at the top of this stream, but I'll drop it again. There we go. Yeah, highly recommend it. This workflow is available in the resources channel. It is by Clinter. And it's Vid2Vid Lightning 4-step. Oh, okay, no problem. All right, that's definitely laserier. Still insane though. Okay, yeah. It's probably as good as we're going to get for that. So let's go back to just doing normal human people. Because I think might be able to get some cool... Where's the other one? Not you. That one. So we're going to do the first 64 frames starting at 0. Actually, we'll do the first 16 because we're just... Right now we're going to do a little style diving to try to figure out how to make this look cool. 1024 by 576. All right, we're going to try anime, 30-year-old man, dancing on a dock in front of the ocean. So let's see if we can change styles here. We're going to turn the IP adapters off. So this should just do a quick 16 frame run. Banodoco is just, it's a community. Have I explored using llama to remove objects in video? No. Okay. Okay, let's get... Okay, that's better. The ocean looks cool. Yeah, Sora's going to be amazing. But I feel like it'll be LOL expensive to use. All right. What happens if we add this in? Does he turn into a mall? Pixar. Let's try Pixar. They're already kind of Pixar-y. I noticed the colors are a little washed out. I'm not sure if more steps will fix that or not. We could try. Yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, I think diffusion transformers or transformer diffusion or whatever it's called is probably going to be the new hotness. Oh, Kush on Pexels.com. Pexels. It's all CC0 footage you can use for input for playing around. Yeah. There's another one too called oh, come on, brain. What's that other big CC0 website? Pexels and Pixabay. I think Pixabay. Pixabay. Yeah. I think they got videos too. But always check the licenses. Make sure that they're CC0 before you do anything crazy with them. I think some of the stuff on Pixabay is CC attribution, so you have to you have to give credit whenever you use it. So it just made crazy stuff in the background, but it didn't actually really infuse the style that we wanted. But maybe, can we make you Hugh Jackman? Pixar Hugh Jackman? Kind of looks like him. Do I concentrate on vertical video? No. I like all aspects. Just whatever my input footage is. Or if I want to work on a specific aspect. That doesn't really look like Pixar Hugh Jackman, but the dock and ocean look great. Yeah, I mean, it nailed the hands, right? Those look totally human and perfect. I like how a lot of the fingers are clipping into each other. And that's cool in there. The design is very human. Now, I wonder if that's the Canny fighting with the LoRA, too. Oh, no, they're barely in it. No, I think that's just the depth. Although, we're not using the input footage anymore, are we? Our latent input to the K sampler is... Yes, let's plug the original footage back in and see what that does. I'm curious if he'll still be on the ocean or if he'll be like in a house. Although, again, it is not giving Hugh Jackman. Although, did I turn the IP adapter on? Yep, I did. So yeah, now it's fighting with the background from the video because the video's got a light blue background. It is working though. I bet we get a lot cleaner edges with this because it's got the dude. Edges are better. Overall color is better too. It's really picking up the from the input colors. The dream was very dark. I've noticed that with this whole model. Can make Elon Musk dance. Elon Musk at a dirty dive bar dancing to Elon Musk disco dancing at a dirty dive bar. Hey, IO workflows are on. I have some on GitHub. I just don't have them all on there yet. Where's the link? ComfyUI workflows. I gotta add some of the new ones here, but the rest of them are available on my Discord, which is on the links at the very top of pers.xyz. It's the third link right there. They're all in the resources channel and they're all tagged based on what architecture they're for, like AnimateDiff or SVD, or if they're, I got some mask packs and stuff on there too, like resources and things you can use to get started. Some fun open pose animations. Come on. Oh, is it done? Doesn't look like Elon at all. Did I run it? Maybe I didn't run it. So yeah, I guess my takeaway for HotShot for this is that if you're trying to do video to video, this is probably the best way to do it fast. If you want to go deeper and you want to do a lot more stuff with it, I would probably recommend sticking around with Animate LCM and SD15 for now. All this SDXL stuff is still pretty newish for this, but I hope that this is a step in getting the SDXL stuff to be the new standard, or get ready for SD3. I mean, SD3 looks really cool. I'm really excited to play with that. I hope I get into the testing group. That would be sweet. Oh, that's pretty smooth. Elon looking smooth. Maybe we'll try maybe he thinks he's too young. Let's try 40-year-old Elon Musk. I don't see the dive bar though. I don't see the dive bar. Just getting that blue background. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just not getting a lot of control out of this hotshot thing, so that's why I would say maybe stick to AnimateDiff, because you can do way more crazy stuff with AnimateDiff, and as well as mixing IP adapter and prompt works better at higher CFGs, which you get with AnimateLCM, 2 or 3 CFG. This is what we sacrifice by getting the speed is the width of our CFG, and the CFG is the promptiness, or the layers of how close to the prompt that it gets. These Lightning models are distilled down from other models into one CFG stream, so they're they get to a result really quickly, but there's only that result at that seed. The rest of it is kind of omitted or distilled. So if you want more variety, I guess the word is, more ability to be less or be more ambiguous with your words and things like that, you want to use a model that has a slightly higher CFG with the regular models that we use at 20 steps. They have they sit at around 7, and then it goes from 15 to 3 or 4 or whatever. Then when you distill down to AnimateLCM, you get a smaller CFG window of 2 to 3 to maybe 4. And then with this, it's 1. It's just 1 CFG of 1. And if you increase it or decrease it, it looks like crap. So yeah, that's, if you don't care about this level of speed at this res, then yeah, AnimateLCM is definitely thing you look at. And check out the inner reflections workflow from last week, the one that we just went over last session. That's what this one is sort of based on, but it's an AnimateDiff type thing. So yeah, that is pretty much all I wanted to cover with this hotshot workflow. So I think I'm going to leave it here for today, and we will next time we'll dig into something else. This is really cool, and if you want really fast results, this is the way to go. Grab the workflow from Banodoco and rock it. If you want to try the upscaling, highly recommend. These are the settings I would use for the upscale. I'll just leave these here so you can screenshot them. If you don't do this, the upscale will either be way too busy or way too smooth. And this range here is 0.75 to 0.82 basically for noise weight of the free noise. Feel free to play around. But yeah, you see all this noise that's kind of jumping around the outsides here. That's the issue, because otherwise they're just really smooth. People are really smooth, and the backgrounds are really smooth. So we need to introduce noise. So we really want to avoid getting this stupid soupy noise that happens in the background. So yeah, that was the hotshot 4-step Lightning workflow. If you enjoy what we do here, hit up the Patreon and hop on the Discord and do all the stuff that we do there. I'll be having bi-weekly hangouts on the Discord coming up pretty soon, where we will just sit and make stuff together, not on stream, but just together, so everybody can talk and we can all just hang out and listen to some tunes and make some stuff. You guys can ask questions and talk about workflow problems you're having, and we can try and sort it all out together. Trying to make the community more, vibey in that way. So I'll be hanging out more in just the hangout area, and I'll be around. And if you got questions, you always feel free to pop by the Discord and ask and help, and the other channels. If I'm not around, there's other people around that will be able to help you probably. So come on by, enjoy the resources, and join the community. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you really soon. I'll be back on probably tomorrow, Monday at the latest, with some new Animate LCM revelations I've come across that'll help you get really, really great looking animations out of Animate LCM, AnimateDiff, and the T2V motion model. So yeah, I really like the idea of text to video, not always having to have input video. So yeah, we're going to dig in hard on that, and like the inner reflection stuff, but based on text to video. So just making up your own stuff from prompts versus having to always have input footage. So yeah, it'll be really fun. And unless something else crazy comes out, then we'll probably cover that. But yeah, there's a lot of new stuff to cover. Free control, GLI gen. I still haven't covered the motion brush stuff. I can't remember the name of right now. And motion director for making our own motion LoRAs, which we'll be covering, not making, but using motion LoRAs and some of the motion LoRA repositories that exist now. Yeah, there's so much stuff to cover and not enough time. So I really appreciate all the time you guys spend with me, and we'll see you really soon. Thanks, everybody, and have a great afternoon, evening, morning, night, whatever it is there. Bye-bye.